Hey guys, my name's Jason, and today we're back with Rolf Guldström, and he's going to take us on a tour of the historic gold mine near Adelfors, Sweden. We're going to start in the old mining town and the museum, and then we're going to move up to the mill and the dump site, and later in the video, Rolf's going to take us underground and show us the old workings and some of the veins, and we're going to find some authentic Swedish gold. We're going to one of the first mining buildings around.
Yep. There's the gold laboratory.
So this back in the day was like the old gold mining town.
Yeah.
This was the old gold mine town. Was it like the Wild West here with guns and alcohol and prostitutes and everything?
Everything.
All gold miners are the same.
This was for smelting.
Oh, like a furnace.
Yeah.
Wow.
What happened is that on the backside they dug a channel, so the water was running there for the water wheels, for blowing in the air, and it used to be bigger, but this was the first one they made for smelting copper and later on nickel.
Wow.
Yep. So this one, I would say it's like 1750 or something.
Still standing.
Yep.
There used to be a big chimney out the top.
Yes. The bigger the better.
The bigger the better. Draw more air and...
Yeah. They made some of the guys came up with the idea that we can actually do bricks out of the molten rock. Use them for building material.
Oh, out of the slag.
Yeah. So this
slag bricks.
Built out of that slag.
Wow. Is there any metal in it still?
Yes.
Lots of metal in it.
Lots of metal.
So they made slag bricks.
Yeah.
And built the furnace out of slag bricks.
Some of them are really heavy.
Heavy.
Yeah. And there is later on what became the technology for this one. I mean, from these bricks, they made them in concrete instead.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's kind of a development.
Right.
But so here was the gold laboratory.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is the most recent smelter.
Yeah.
This is so similar to the mining towns in the US.
Yep.
It's all the same anywhere in the world you go.
Yeah. It is. It's huge.
Yeah.
Enormous. That's for the furnace.
Wow.
We were blowing air into the chimney.
These were the intake for air.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big steel pipes,
Yeah.
iron pipes.
And they use water.
For the blowers?
Yeah. And in that building up there is the gearbox
Uh-huh.
for taking the water.
So they were smelting
A lot.
many tons.
And the story goes that we have a Swedish engineer, Christopher Polhem. He is quite famous. He did a lot of inventions and stuff. And he was working in Falu Koppargruva. It's the biggest copper mine in Sweden. It started the year 1200.
Wow. Way up north.
Yeah.
This is way in
In Falun.
the Arctic.
No, not in Arctic. In Falun, in Dalarna. It's not so far up.
Okay.
But that's why we call it Falu Kopparfärg, the red paint, because they made a lot of products out of this copper. You know the tailings, you burn it and you get the copper sulfide, you mix it with a little bit of oil and wheat flour, and then you can use it as a paint.
Voila, paint.
Yeah. But anyway, this guy, Christopher Polhem, his biggest problem was pumping water. Same problem like we have today in a mining site. You want to pump water, right? So what they did is they used this piston and a tube, you know, manually pumping water. And then they came up with the idea of having these horses or donkeys, you know, driving the pumps. But it was a slow system and he didn't like it. And he could clearly see that there's a lot of power in the river.
Yeah.
So he was like, how am I going to do this? Because, I mean, I have power there, but the gold mine is 2 kilometers away there. How am I going to solve this? Then he came up with a solution. It's called the stone gong. He put to the water wheel. He put to the gearbox. He got the wood to move.
Yeah.
So he took these big ones. He connected them one by one by one by one with the A-frame. He could move the water, power from the water 2 kilometers up. And up there he put it another gearbox, and then he could manage the pumps.
He used logs.
Yes.
All the way.
Yes.
For 2 kilometers.
Yes, with an A-frame, hanging the logs in them. Stone gong.
Wow.
It is the forefather of electricity, you can say.
Yeah. Just moving the power up the logs all the way to the mine. That's amazing.
And there is still one remaining up in Dalarna, which is actually operational.
Still?
Yeah. And the thing about these ones is that when you connect the logs to one another, you can make a turn, or you can go up and you can go down, and you can do whatever, as long as you have the movement.
Uh-huh.
You have the power.
So you go up over the hill or through the
down
valley.
and everything.
Wow.
Amazing.
Swedish ingenuity.
Yeah, really amazing. So now
So is the furnace underneath? Or this was where
they come here.
it comes here?
See them? They go here
Somewhere here and across.
and straight in.
And right to the furnace and
Yep.
up the chimney.
And it's 47 meters, I think. Or 37. Something like that.
A long way.
Mm.
You built this?
No, not me. Not me. There were other guys who built this.
So this is for your stamp mill?
Yep.
Wow.
So, here are the hammers.
Yeah.
And this one have 4 hammers. The original ones had 16 hammers. And the wheel was twice the size. And they had 2 wheels down there. So, and on this end here were the sluice boxes.
Yeah.
Because you can see they have a water pumping system as well. So they pump up the water and it runs here. You put your ore there, you crush it, and then was the sluice box.
Wow.
And when you read the old history, what they say is that the water was grayish for 10 kilometers down when they crushed the ore. Because what they did is they run with the season, you know.
Yeah.
In the winter time when it's snow and ice, they couldn't do any working, so they were up in the mine getting the ore, and they stockpiled it, and then when the snow smelted and all the water came, then they crushed 24/7, and then they processed the ore up in another area, and we're going to go there too.
So they got ore from a local mine here.
Yeah,
the one we'll go tomorrow.
Yes, the first gold mine in Sweden.
Uh-huh.
First one.
And they brought it here, crushed it.
Yeah, not here. The site is 800 meters down. We can go there later and have a look.
Okay, this is a replica.
Yes.
But they crushed it like
Yes.
this, and then they took the concentrates and smelted it or milled it
Yes,
somewhere
they
else.
did, they did.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
This was a lot of work.
Yep. And it's not me.
Yeah, this is a mining museum. So this is the original from 1764.
Yep.
The map, and they were down about 100 meters here.
Yes.
and they were hauling the ore up this way.
Yep.
And the blue is the water being
Yep.
pumped out.
Yeah.
And then this is later.
Yeah, the latest.
Sometime 1800s or something. I don't see a date.
1898.
1898. And they're down, how far you said?
240 meters.
240 meters.
Yeah.
That's about 750 feet.
Yeah.
So way down.
Yeah.
Like almost as far as Cerro Gordo.
And when we go in the gold mine, we will come in on this level. This is about 45 meters. So the rest of the mine here now is water filled.
Oh, wow.
But here is where the shaft comes in.
Wow. So we will walk in
Yes.
this way
Yeah.
and end up in the stope.
Yeah. And this one is very interesting because the red dots is how many grams per ton.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look on this map, now remember that here is the water. So the one which are below, you can forget it. But here you have 1,100 grams per ton.
Wow.
Here you have 530, and so you can stand here with the loop, you know.
Yeah.
And we were here, it was like
It's very rich.
very rich.
Very rich.
Very, very rich.
1,100 grams per ton. That's
Yeah.
like 40 ounces per ton.
But the blue dots are how wide was the quartz. And you
Ah.
know, this quartz was roughly about 25 centimeters. So it's what we call a small malm. It's not the big ore. It's a thin quartz vein which
Yep.
they had to follow.
Yeah.
And that is probably one of the reasons why they stopped.
And they stopped this year, 1898,
Yeah.
because of the Alaska Gold Rush.
Yes,
The Alaska Gold Rush took all the miners from
Yeah.
Sweden.
they did.
And it's abandoned now. Nothing's
Yes,
working
now
now.
it's just for tourists.
Wow.
But you can see the walls are roughly about a meter.
Yeah. Was this built for military or just the museum?
No. There is a different history behind this house because there is something that's more valuable than gold.
Family.
No.
What? Food. Food.
We had a big famine here in Småland, 1860. We had 3 years in a row where the crops went bad. There was no food. And I mean, 1860, 1 year you could handle. 2 years, like 3 years, no.
Yeah. Starving.
So all the population of this area went to America.
Yeah.
Big migration. But the ones who are left behind, they needed to have some small seed for the to sow on the fields in the springtime. And the guy who was running the mine at that time, he made a fortune on nickel. He had a lot of money, so he's the one who built this one, and he put the rebars so people, because I mean it was not a joke, Jason, because you were so hungry and you had to think about your family, and they were actually dying out of starvation. So he knew that he had to have this food for the springtime to put out on the seeds.
Wow.
So it's like Sädes magazine, it's like a food storage, this house.
Yeah. And
For protecting people to coming in and get the food.
And so he had to keep the seeds to sow on the fields in the
Yep.
spring, but people wanted to come in and eat them because they
Yep.
were starving to death.
And here is a very interesting story because this is actually us.
Us,
Family
Guldström.
Guldström, yeah.
Really?
So these rings, it was one of my dear friend Eric. He was here in the area and he saw a jar of peanut butter
Yeah.
with some piece of paper inside, and so he took it out, and inside were these rings, and he couldn't understand what was written on it, so he came with it to us.
Yeah.
And he was an American, but his ancestors lived there. These rings belongs to his ancestors who migrated from here, and now the guy was 75 years old and he was about to die, so he wanted to give back the rings to the ancestors. So he put them in a jar of peanut butter and hid them in the wall, and one of our guests found them.
Wow.
And now they ended up in a museum.
Yeah. And do they know how old they are?
They are from 1800.
1800.
Yeah.
And it's Swedish gold, probably.
Yeah.
Probably from this mine.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so. So here is the mineral collection.
The mineral collection.
Yeah.
From all across Sweden or the world?
The world.
The world.
5,360 different pieces.
Wow. Huh. From all over the world, huh? And this one here.
You see the one on the door?
Yeah.
Those are the alchemistry signs. One on top is the sign for gold.
Oh, yeah.
It's also the sign for God.
Okay.
It's also the sign for the sun.
Yeah.
The one
circle.
below is the moon,
Okay.
silver, or the devil. The one underneath is copper,
Yeah.
Venus, or woman. The one underneath, I'm not sure, but the one down below, that is iron, Mars, or the man. So when you look on an old-time map, you will see this sign still today. That is the sign for a gold ore, silver ore, copper ore.
Really?
Yeah.
The signs of the alchemy.
Like if you look on on this, the big, that's his shield, his weapon shield. That one, it's a bjelke, and bjelke means it's this one. It's a bar.
Okay.
It's his family name.
Okay.
Bjelke. But on that one, there's a different one. Do you see?
Yeah.
That is the sign for copper and a mountain.
Yeah.
So that is Kopparberg. Stora Kopparberg. It's a big company in Sweden today.
Oh.
It's called Stora Enso today. It's a mine, copper mine. Yeah. So there's a lot of things, a lot of aspects. And then...
But you said the king, Niels Bielke.
Yeah, he was a teacher.
He was the teacher, and he had these cabinets built in 1750 or 60.
Yes.
And they're still here today.
Yes.
Full of his samples.
Well, it's a long story. They were actually donated to Adelfors because a couple of kilometers away here there's another estate where they trained engineers, bergsingenjör, mountain engineers, mining engineers.
Mining engineers.
So this one was supposed to be as a study material.
Oh, I see.
So it was donated to Ädelfors, but then it was moved in when the king died and stuff. It was moved up to Falu koppargruva, because they stopped training engineers here. They made up to Falu koppargruva.
Okay.
And then they stood there for 220 years, and then they were brought back here.
Wow.
Yeah.
But this is like Swedish.
This is history.
Yes. Swedish nobility history.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've come down to a spot just downriver from the panning station, and we're going to go look at some of the old tailings from about 250 years ago that they got out of the gold mine. They brought it down here to the river, and they were crushing and concentrating the ore here. But it sounds like there's still quite a bit of gold in the tailings. This is classic Swedish summer weather.
Yes.
Pouring down rain.
Yeah. Same like in Bellingham.
Same like in Bellingham.
Yes.
It's about 15 degrees out and pouring. So this is an old foundation for some building or something.
For the canal.
Oh,
And
okay.
The stamp mill, we suspect one of them was here because now they have put a lot of wood there, but we would find most of the gold on that side.
And this is...
That could be a foundation around the stamp mill.
Yes, it is. It is. I'm pretty sure it is. And
When they have tossed the stones,
This is...
that is the gravel from.
classic Bellingham.
Yeah.
And I've been here a couple of hundred years.
A couple hundred years.
Yeah.
It's crushed. Yeah. And they have sluices going here. And sometimes
Then when you put water
even
here, when you have
find-
then you have material here only, because
what the
it's
guys,
sinking.
You know, they
Yeah.
use,
So the water just
Oh. You can see that is
the further deep
much
down
air
you
in
get,
that.
the more-
Mm-hmm.
So meaning that the further deep down you get, that's where the really good stuff is. Because in the
You have
beginning,
gold
when
in
you're a
that.
new beginner,
Yeah,
a lot.
that's where the gold is.
You know, the people doing crushing
Small,
here,
small
they were
little
just
gold.
working, right? And to understand how big the area is, we should go here.
How deep are the tailings?
Roughly about 1 meter, I would say.
Okay, spread out all over this
yeah.
area.
Yes.
Oh yeah, under every tree there's there's tailings.
Yeah.
This whole area is covered in tailings.
Yes, it's tailings, all of it. And here is another channel.
This is good tailings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was saying, Lasse was saying that in 3 buckets there's 0.1 grams.
Yeah. So I had, because the river is right down there. You saw the river, right?
Yep.
So you put a pump there, you put a sluice here.
And you sluice. And this guy got, you said 100 grams
Yep.
from this area.
In one summer.
Just sluicing.
Just sluicing.
There's a huge amount of tailings here. A couple acres. A hectare, I guess, is about the equivalent. But it's covered, Rolf thinks, by about 1 meter, 2 meters of fine tailings. And they've just logged it. So there's hundreds or thousands of ounces sitting out here in the brush. It's been sitting here for 200 years. Now I think we're going to go up to the gold mine and see where all this rock came from.
This one is the gold laboratory, the one we checked yesterday. You remember the chimney with the molten rock?
Yeah.
So this is how it looked down there, and you can see it's a lot more water running off, right? Here is the mine, you saw that yesterday.
At the museum we
Yeah.
saw this map.
And here is the, what do you call it? The elevator shaft. The
Hoist house.
hoist house.
Hoist
yes,
for down in
it
the...
was here. And here are the working guys.
So this was, what, 200 years ago?
Yeah.
Was this?
Yeah.
Wow.
And here you have, in English, you can show your audience a little bit about the history.
Yeah.
Welcome to Adelfors mine.
You can pause here if you want to read all of this. So all these fenced off areas here, back by the cars, they're all shafts. Go down underground. Some of them connect to the old main workings. Some of them are just prospect pits. Here's another shaft, it looks like. I'm sure we're walking on huge dump piles. Looks like the host rock is a metamorphosed sedimentary rock. Kind of similar to what I've seen at home. Metamorphosed slate or something. Almost like a phyllite. This is people sneaking in? The cables?
Yeah, this is, we put a generator and we have light.
Okay. So is it straight down or it goes down at an angle?
Like that.
Like 70 degrees or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I see, yeah. You can see down the hole.
Yep. Normally we do climbing down here. So if you put a strong rope, it's about 45 meters climb down.
Really?
Yeah. And then the rest is water filled.
Is there any workings or stope or anything? Or it's
Yes,
just there's...
several going in different directions.
Is this the main workings?
Yes.
This is the main shaft. I get it. Okay. And so we're going to come down the hill a little ways.
About that direction, it's the entrance, the Stollagång, and it's 320 meters.
And so we'll come and intersect these workings underground.
Yeah.
Got it.
You can see the foundation.
Right.
So they were hoisting it up, and then here they were sorting. The vein was about 25 centimeters wide. So the vein was loaded on horse and carriage and driven down to the stamp mills where the tailings are.
Okay.
And the ribble was thrown here.
So it's just huge dump piles,
Yes.
waste piles.
Yes. And as you can see, Lasse is... he told me he actually found a picker last time he was here.
You found a what?
A picker.
A picker?
A bigger piece.
Really?
Yeah, doing diggings in this material.
So when they hand sorted, they missed some.
Yeah.
Is
course.
this what the vein looks like?
Yes, that's the quartz.
This
Yes.
is the quartz.
And if you find those ones with pyrite in, you are very good. Yeah.
So this stuff, the vein was narrow, but it was rich.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's everywhere.
So this is the good stuff.
Yeah.
And you can see the gold in it if it's rich enough?
Yes, you can. We have found several pieces with big gold inside of it.
Really?
Here, right here. And the first time I was here with my wife, it was after a big storm with a lot of trees had fallen. So she just went and picked the stone. Is this gold? And I was like, yes.
Hasn't been seen for 200 years.
And she just picked it.
Huh.
And as you can see, Lasse is quite...
It's difficult to dig here because you have stone.
Yeah. Yeah, the rock must be hard to dig. So you'll take this back and you'll screen it and sluice it?
Yes,
Or pan it?
yes, and wash it. And the water is black, black, black.
But there's gold in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can have gold in the stones too.
Really?
Here.
So it's even in the black stone sometimes.
If you have quartz, then you take the hammer and...
I see.
Yes.
Huge dump piles spread all over the hillside. Been sitting here for 200 years, 250 years. And some are still exposed. Some of them have stuff growing up, but there's dump piles, I'm sure, way, way down the hill. So much work was done all by hand, and early back in the 1750s, Rolf was telling me they were lighting fires underground, heating up the rock, and then they'd go down and throw water on the rock and it'd break and they'd mine it that way. So it wasn't even by hand with hammer and chisel. We've come down the hill now. You can see maybe behind me there's some piles of rock. The shaft is up the hill. We're gonna go down to the portal here, and it's about a 300-meter walk through a tunnel to intersect the shaft that we saw up above. From here down, from this level down, it's all flooded. So we can only work on this level because this is the only drain. But we're gonna go in and see what we can see. Here's the main portal, and this intersects the shaft that we saw above. In we go. 320 meters, and then we'll intersect the stope. Well, here we go. Two Swedes, a Brit, and an American going underground.
So we need to let the wife know we are coming.
You're going to meet the Swedish bear.
The Swedish, yeah. This is where he lives, huh?
According to tradition, it's a woman inside the mine. Gruvfrun, the lady of the mountain.
Okay.
But sometimes she can be vicious and sometimes she can be nice, depending on which mine it is.
Okay.
Inside here, nobody have never died. So they say she's nice. In other mines, she takes lives.
Okay.
But this one didn't.
Hopefully not today either.
But walk carefully, guys.
Okay. It's probably 10 feet tall.
60 meters deep in the
And it's
60
not
meters deep.
60 meters here.
Yeah, you don't want to fall down in it.
So a shaft down here.
Like Rolf really did there. Turn your light on, Rolf. Where's your torch?
Here.
Is there a vein here, Rolf? Did they intersect a vein or what?
It's a vein.
Where is it?
It's gone.
It's gone.
I took it.
They mined it.
No, but if you look up there, yeah, where you are looking now,
Yeah.
you can see some rust. And I climbed up there and you can find some remains of the gold ore.
Okay, and this is a hole under our feet here.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk on the planks.
Yes, please.
Okay. Don't fall in the hole. Walk on the planks, don't fall in the hole.
And let me go first. I'm going to test the bridge.
Okay, yeah, well, you test it. I like this.
This is all made with fire.
It's all made with fire.
Yeah. And you can see it because it's so well rounded. It's called tillmakning in Swedish. I don't know the real proper English name, but they put it at fire and then they splashed it with cold water and they hammered. So they got roughly about 10 centimeters per day.
Wow.
And it's 320 meters long. So it took them 10 years to make this tunnel.
To intersect the stope they were working. Right.
Here you can clearly see the difference. This one is made with dynamite. And you can also see the drilling holes. There are some.
Oh, yeah.
And this is normally where you will find the bats as well.
Okay, but there's some quartz here.
Yes.
So they were chasing
But
something.
it's it doesn't have anything.
Low grade.
Yeah. But I mean, this is done with compressed air
Yeah. Yeah.
and dynamite.
This was just gold or copper too?
Just gold.
Just gold.
Just gold.
So is this the powder room?
Yes.
That's where they kept all the dynamite.
Yeah, good one. Good one. Correct. And according to tradition, you started working in the gold mine when you were 12. So by the age of your son, that's when you started. And you were roughly about 37 when you were finished.
When you died.
When you died,
Uh-huh.
yes. And to make sure that Tony is up for the job, he needed to sleep one night inside here alone.
Okay.
Yeah, and they slept inside here. And the elderly workers, they were coming, you know, rattling the chain, you know, making sure that Tony doesn't have claustrophobia.
So they put the boys in here to sleep.
Yes,
To
one
see if they
night.
were up
Yeah,
to the.
alone. Because at the old days, I mean, you didn't have a torch,
Right.
so you had a fire torch,
Mm-hmm. A candle.
and when that one went out, it's dark,
Yeah.
and then you need to be pretty sure of yourself. One time I was in here with two guys. They wanted to do metal detecting inside of here because they were hoping to find some relics or some gold or something, right? So it was a lot of ice on the outside, so we had to use a chainsaw to remove the ice and to be able to come in. And me, I was like documenting everything with the camera because I thought it was really fun. So we went in, and when we came in, you know, they were starting doing metal detecting. Of course, they found some nails and some stuff. And after half an hour, I decided, nah, I think I go. So I told them, listen, guys, I go. And then I realized, I didn't bring a torch. But, you know, I know the mine, so I didn't have a problem. So I said, okay, guys, I go anyway. Bye-bye, and I went. And when I came about halfway, I mean, I know the mine, you can see it's pretty straightforward. Suddenly there was something, you know. I walked into something. Whoops! It's like there's not supposed to be anything here. And I took a step back and I was like, what am I going to do now? And then I realized I had my camera with the flash. So I took the camera, it was totally dark, and I took a picture. And there was this white thing standing in front of me. And I was like, whoa! And then I realized it was upside down ice.
Oh!
I thought my last moment had come. So it was good.
Yeah. So you're looking straight up through the vent shaft.
Yeah.
The air got so bad back here they had to do a vent.
Yeah.
With all the smoke and the fire.
Yeah, they needed fresh air.
Do you see it?
The white quartz here.
Yes.
This is the ore.
Yeah. And also here, you can see how it stretches down.
Boy, the vein's not very big, is it?
Den fortsätter liksom ner där.
Big one's been taken out. That's why they stopped.
That's,
Because it's getting too small.
yeah, pinched down to nothing. This is kind of interesting. It looks like they drilled down here. So they overhand stoped, I think is the term. I always get it backwards, but so they drill down, blast, and they drill down and blast and drill down. So they mined it down. But Rolf is telling me that up this way is where the rich gold is, huh?
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely.
So you want me to climb up there
Yes.
and go find some gold?
Yeah.
Okay. After you.
Okay. So it should be.
That's why you're going first.
Now this is the tricky part.
Just like Cerro Gordo. Okay. I made it up to where Rolf is. So guys come in with the electric power tools, huh?
Yeah.
And they really go.
So if you look up there, there is some pillars still left. Do you see these?
Let's see if we can see them way up there.
Yeah.
There's a ladder up there.
Yeah.
I think I see. And the pillars, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some vein right there.
Yeah. But I would say the easiest way is to throw down a rope from above.
And rappel down in.
Rappel down. But inside here is quite interesting too.
Okay. There's a little pocket of this rusty ore, I guess, that I found in the stope. I'm gonna scoop it up. Rolf's gonna get a bucket and we'll take it out and we'll pan it. But the redder the better, and that stuff is very, very red. Rainy and foggy and warm, but we made it out of the Swedish gold mine. Now we pan the gold. This is about half of our gold from the mine. So it's definitely there, but very small. Very fine hard rock gold. We'll get it all together in a vial and take a look. There it is. There's some junk in there, but that is authentic Swedish Adelfors gold. Hard rock Swedish gold. Very nice. Couple of pans. Not bad.